What's up, AAU family? You are now listening to Meeting at the Rim with Del Potter.
Welcome to another episode of Meeting at the Rim, broadcasting from our AAU National Headquarters here in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. I'm your host, Del Potter. With the start of the NBA season, most of this year's rookie class have played in our AAU tournaments, which has prepared them for the collegiate level and now the professional stage of their careers. Managing new wealth and fame can become a distraction, both on and off the court, leading to a short-lived dream. One of the National Basketball Players Association's goals is to provide educational programs which range from finance planning to image management. As Director of Player Programs, my next guest plays a pivotal role in the professional development of the NBA and WNBA stars of the future. Please welcome to the show former 12-year NBA veteran Purvis Short. Hey Purvis, how you doing?
Pretty good, Dale. How are you?
I'm good. You know, the last time I saw you, it was 2006. You guys had the NBPA Top 100 basketball camp at my alma mater at VCU, and that was a great experience.
Okay. All right. I think that was our last year at VCU.
Yeah, I remember DeAndre Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Marcus and Markieff Morris were there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we've had a lot of guys come through, man. Wow.
Purvis, can you discuss some of what you do for the National Basketball Players Association as Player Programs Director for our listeners out there?
Yes, Dale, first off, I just want to thank you for having me on your show. It's certainly a privilege for me to, be able to share, some of the things that are going on with our NBA Players Association. But my responsibilities as Director of Player Programs is primarily to put together programs that address a variety of issues that our players may encounter, whether that's financial education programs, whether that's drug programs, whether that's career development programs, health education programs. So our player program department staff is charged with not only creating, implementing, and administering those type programs.
Most of the 400 players currently in the NBA have played in our AAU tournaments at some point during their youth basketball experience and have been drafted in their early 20s, if not younger. How important is it for the National Basketball Players Association to have career and personal development programs in place to ease that transition from college to professional life?
Well, it's extremely important. Just like any other industry, when you have new employees coming in, you want to make sure that they understand the environment. You want to make sure that they understand the challenges that they're going to face. But more importantly, you want to make sure that they know how to address those challenges, if and when they arise, and that they know, where they can turn to tap into resources available. And so, the Players Association, the NBA, we go to great lengths to make sure that all players coming into our league, has obtained a certain amount of information in order to make that transition a smooth one.
And Purvis, is there a common adjustment scenario that you have witnessed amongst the NBA rookies once they begin life as professionals?
Well, I think the common thread or common adjustment that all rookies have to face, number one, is, there's this issue of time management. You got to be able to manage your time properly. You do have a lot of time on your hands, but you got to use it wisely, not only to, improve your game, but also improve yourself as an individual. And then secondly, coming into our league with the, celebrity that's involved, with the fame that's involved, just learning how to say no. Is two of the common adjustment issues that I think our players face.
When these guys are in your workshops and preparing for life as an NBA player. Do you see an importance that the AAU provides with them traveling to our national tournaments and how that translates to them getting ready for that competition at the next level?
Yes, I think, the AAU, obviously serves a great purpose for our youth in this country in terms of, providing this opportunity for them to play basketball. AAU has become so big in this country. These kids now, they're used to, the travel, so when they get into the NBA or college, that's nothing new for them. They have to play under, a lot of pressure with a lot of these AAU tournaments, games, etc. So that type of exposure early on, I think, in a lot of ways helps prepare them.
I know you touched on this earlier, but there's been a big cultural change in the NBA since your playing days in the league. What are some of the educational programs that the National Basketball Players Association provides for today's NBA players that a lot of our listeners may not know of?
Oh, wow. When I played, there wasn't, anything really available for players in the early 80s. Now we have, as I mentioned earlier, financial education programs. Once you come into newfound wealth, what do you do with that? What does that look like? What does it mean? How do you handle all of the responsibilities that comes with that? We have career development programs. Basketball is not a career that's going to last forever. Our average lifespan is only 4.5 years. So therefore, as soon as, the kids come into our league, we start working with them on, thinking about preparing for, life after basketball. There are a number of health issues that all professional athletes encounter, whether that's general health issues, sexual management issues, all of these things, you got to be aware of, and you got to know, how to address them and where the resources are that are available, to you. So there are just a number of programs that, we have in place to pretty much address any issues that our players may encounter.
You've played 12 years in the NBA and have been with the National Basketball Players Association for over 15 years. You've been able to mentor NBA stars and watch their brand prosper on and off the court. What advice can you give coaches and parents who have youth athletes currently playing in our AAU tournaments that have dreams of playing in the NBA and WNBA in the future?
Well, the advice that I would give, Dale, is that, you got to approach this thing from a holistic standpoint. It's just not about the basketball. That's only one side of it. Obviously, what happens on the court, the talent that these kids have, you want to try to develop that and make sure they get and understand and learn the fundamentals of the game. But also there's the life skill component. How do you carry yourself? How do you interact with folks, pursuing your education? And so what we try to do within the NBA Players Association is, like through our Top 100 camp, we teach, basketball skills, life skills, because we feel that today's athlete, the 21st century athlete, has to be a well-rounded individual that has great talent on the court, but also has great talent off the court as well.
I know with the rise of social media, a lot of athletes vent their opinion on matters, whether it's trivial or big news issues. Is that some of the workshops that you guys also touch on when it comes to the social media outlets out there?
Oh, absolutely. I think we try to, stay in the loop, if you will, and in a lot of ways try to be ahead of the curve. The social media platforms that are available to the youth and the kids today, is tremendous, and there are a lot of challenges with how do you manage that? How do you use that to your advantage? And so we do provide social media training. We do, try to work with the kids in terms of, what to do, what not to do, and how best to do it.
Purvis, is there one joy that stands out for you when you're working day-to-day with NBA and WNBA players?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think the joy is just waking up every day knowing that, for the last 22 years, my life has been, dedicated to, trying to make things better for all incoming NBA players. When I played as great as it was, there were a lot of challenges, not only for myself, but for a lot of guys. And so, we didn't have the resources that are available today. And so I strive and just receive tremendous joy just from being able to help players. My staff and I, we're dedicated to that. And so, that would be my joy, man, just to be able to try to make a difference in someone's life on a daily basis.
From a personal standpoint, do you have any connection with AAU, whether it's your family that played, relatives?
Yeah, I've had relatives, that's played AAU. I still have, relatives that participate in AAU basketball. And then, again, with what we do with the NBA Players Association, we have through our Top 100 camp, a camp that we put on every summer. We bring in the top 100 high school players. We dedicate that camp to, not only trying to establish relationships with these future NBA players, but also, trying to teach them, and to help them develop their life skills. We know they can play basketball, but there's a lot more to it than just playing basketball.
When you hear about pro athletes in other major sports leagues deal with controversial situations, do you take note of it in case something similar comes your way as player programs director?
Oh, absolutely, Dale. You can't live in a bubble, and, the world of professional sports is a large world. It's an interesting world, and there are a lot of issues that arise within the various sports. And so, we scour, the headlines, the media, information, that we sort on a day-to-day basis, just trying to figure out, okay, are these issues we need to take a look at? How are these issues being addressed by other leagues? So we try to keep our finger on that pulse to make sure that we're kind of ahead of the curve so that, we can head off potential problems.
Purvis, thanks again for coming on the show. This information was great for our listeners who may not know all the inner workings of what you do for the National Basketball Players Association and its rookies. Please follow the National Basketball Players Association at the NBPA. Please follow AAU Basketball at AAU_basketball, and myself, Del Potter, at Del PAAU. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.